What's good, YouTube? Akil here, back with another video, and today I'm taking you guys on another trip to the thrift. And this video is definitely one of those compilation style videos where I'm putting together a bunch of different clips from different thrift stores throughout the week, because this week was really slow in terms of thrifting, but I still try to hit up at least one thrift store every single day, mainly because I'm just addicted to the thrill of the hunt. But I tell you guys all the time, it's way more important to list than it is to source, especially if you have a ton of stuff just sitting in your garage or your spare bedroom just kind of collecting dust. And for me, I was able to kind of run through a lot of those items in my money pile and just get those items listed and just available for sale. So make sure that you guys are doing that as well, especially since you know the weekend is approaching, and weekends are usually better for sourcing because a lot of people are donating stuff during the weekend. They have some more time. So for me, I'm definitely going to check out some more thrift stores this weekend. But since I was able to just kind of run through my money pile, I got way more space and I'm just way more organized. So if you guys haven't already, make sure that you guys check out the consistency tees. It's the first link in the description. Right now I'm rocking the Nipsey blue, and I got a bunch of other colorways just in time for spring and summer as well. But without further ado, let's get into it. Alright y'all, so the first find of the day was this pair of Doc Marten boots, and I don't pick up every pair of Docs that I find. I usually try to gravitate towards ones that are made in England or just really popular styles. This one in particular wasn't as popular, but it should still sell for around 60 bucks. And next I came across this pair of Cole Haan Lunagrands, and these were actually a women's pair. And I was walking around the store with these for a while, but I ended up putting them back only because Cole Haan Lunagrands don't sell for as much or as fast as they used to. So I ended up just passing on those. Next came across this pair of Air Maxes. I think these are the 2015s. These were just priced too high for me. I usually would sell these right around maybe 60 to 70 bucks. But for me, even with the 20% off discount, I just didn't want to spend that much on that particular pair. Next came across some really cool like vintage pieces. Here was this Ralph Lauren made in USA jacket. I believe the term for this jacket is like a Harrington jacket. Those would definitely sell, probably closer to the fall though. Next was this vintage tee. This one said Men's Anita Speedway, and I think it was dated from like 1996. Nice little single stitch on the sleeve, really good detail for vintage tees, and it also had some signatures on the back. So I don't know if that's gonna add any value, but because it's single stitch and the graphics are cool, I'm gonna pick it up. And then of course we came across this Tommy Bahama shirt, and I don't think I've even mentioned this brand in like well over a year, but I only pick these up if I can find them with like a really nice embroidery on the back. And as you guys can see, it had pocket rockets on the back, and similar shirts were selling for right around 50 bucks. So I'm gonna definitely grab that up. Now here was another really cool find. I've been finding a ton of like vintage games lately. These were just a bunch of Game Boy games. Some were Game Boy Color, some were even Game Boy Advance. And as you guys can see, these are some pretty good titles. We got Zelda in there, we got Dragon Ball Z, some of the SpongeBob games that are probably gonna lot together to kind of sell those a little faster. But I'm definitely going to just take a chance on all of those. And then here I think are some Atari games. I usually don't even find these often, but I'm going to grab all of those up as well. I know for a fact that Pitfall game should bring in some decent profit, and these other like CoVision games should sell for right around 25. So that's like my only experience selling some of these games. Some of the other ones I'm going to have to just take a chance on it, because at the very least I'm sure I'll be able to double up my profit. And then I just wanted to show you guys what some of the titles actually were in there. Nothing crazy, nothing that'll bring a ton of profit, but the good thing is that Kirby game already sold for 35 bucks. And then some of the DBZ games that they had, that Zelda and the Spyro were probably some of the best ones in that pack. And I'm gonna just group up the Pac-Man, the SpongeBob, and some other Game Boy Advance games that I have. So back to the shoes over here. Came across this pair of Vapor Max. Pretty good condition. They were kind of dirty, but I always grab a Vapor Max that's kind of dirty and I just clean them up. Since it's a fabric mesh, they usually clean up pretty nicely. And for only 12 bucks, I figured this was definitely a no-brainer. Then I looked up at the top shelf and looked like somebody else donated some more Vapor Max as well, but this one wasn't as in good condition. This shoe was kind of dirty, but it had a ton of heel drag, so just with those I would have passed on it. But then when I seen the hole, I knew for sure I wasn't going to be grabbing those up. So checked out a different Goodwill and came across some of these FUBU football jerseys, and these are actually selling for some decent profit. People are really like picking these up because, as you guys know, anything vintage nowadays is basically has some type of crowd. These FUBU jerseys are selling for right around around 40 bucks. Some are selling for a little more depending on the graphics, depending on the size. Larger sizes tend to sell best with these, but I ended up passing on these only because they were $12.99, and nothing really stuck out to me about these. Drop a comment if you guys would have picked them up, but these two in particular were just kind of boring, so I just kind of passed on those. Next, came across another pair of shoes. These are just a pair of Adidas Hues, Pharrell Williams sneakers. They're only asking 10 bucks for these, and they weren't in the best condition, but like I said, once again, just like those Vapor Max, it's an easy cleanup job for these, and these should sell for right around 40 bucks. If I get anything more than 40, I'll definitely be surprised. So that's probably what I'm just gonna price mine at as well. Next up, came across some really dope hats, and anytime I'm checking hats in a thrift store, that's usually a bad sign for that thrift store, meaning that I probably couldn't find any good electronics or clothes or shoes. So once I saw these hats, they look kind of dope to me, so I figured somebody else would like them. And once I typed in quality caps by George, I seen that they had a decent sell-through rate, and people were selling them for anywhere between like 25 to as high as about 60. That tan hat, I should be able to get a little more for that one, since that one seemed to be dead stock, but this one was definitely worn, so I'm probably going to charge just a little less for this cap in particular. But still, at the end of the day, should be able to sell those at least for 25 bucks a piece. Probably the tan one, maybe 30 or 35. Seen some vintage shorts here. These are some Nike white tag shorts, and anytime I see the Nike white tag, usually late 80s, early 90s, and these were just like some satin shorts. Not a ton of these are even listed on eBay, so I'm gonna price mine higher, probably closer to 50 bucks, especially since people are going crazy for Nike white tag stuff. I'm definitely gonna make sure I put white tag in the description and in the title as well, because I know people search for stuff like that way. Came across some Tiger Woods golf shoes, and I've sold these not too long ago, the same exact pair. I think mine were in much better condition, so I got about 100 bucks for those. This pair in particular probably get somewhere closer to maybe 70 or 80. I'll be happy with 60 bucks, because these are kind of dirty and I'll have to clean these up a little bit, but these should sell for a decent amount of profit and should sell pretty quickly since we're in golf season right now. So speaking of things that's in season, this jacket from Carhartt, this is more of like an overall set. This is definitely not gonna sell pretty fast. I'll be shocked if it sells in like a month or two. This will probably sell closer to fall and winter, but for 10 bucks, once this does sell, I should easily be able to get about 80 for that. And here was this vintage Yves Saint Laurent blazer, and I used to sell these pretty fast back in the day. This is maybe 2 or 3 years ago when menswear was selling a lot better, but pieces like this aren't really moving that fast for me. Not to say it wouldn't sell, but I've had some blazers in my inventory for well over a year, so something like this I'm gonna have to pass on. Alright y'all, that's all I have for today's video. So if you guys enjoyed that one, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also drop a comment, let me know which one of these was your favorite find throughout the week, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Peace.
For the winner, cause you felt like you was losing, only for the winner. Move just to keep from cooling, like only for the winner, only for the winner, only for the winner. Boy, my heart is cold, and I'm too cool to sweat it. I should've never offered it. I'm tight and now